My first question here is anytime I hear an all-time great receive an honor that I thought they'd already received, like, say, going in the Hall of Fame, like, wait, they're not in yet? Is this your first autobiography? Have you not done this before? Is this an update? Where did this come from?
The last book was, and I didn't really get involved with 80. I was not involved in that one. The last one I was involved with a little bit was Kim Chapin back in 1974.
Wow.
So I haven't really done a proper book since 74 when I was in my 20s, and I'm 78 this year. So this is it, man. It took over 4 years to do it. Got lots of help from a lot of people and had a full-time research person, had so many people involved trying to find out the facts because, as you know, truth is never the same in memory. So it was helpful with the research, just getting newspaper clippings or videotapes or things just to remind me of getting the dates right even. You know, it's amazing how your mind plays little tricks on it. So it was a labor of love. I wanted to get it right. I think it's a great research book for people that need to do research on me anyway. I mean, I still get a lot of requests from every age group, but particularly young people, actually, very young. We're talking like 10 to 15 to do interviews and to do reports. And this book will be very helpful to anybody who wants to do proper research.
So then what part of
I think that'll help. Because even in the book, there's an appendix with all my matches and scores and all kinds of facts in there. But I really do dig deep here and talk about very important and sometimes very painful subjects, my sexuality, my eating disorder, my journey. Just like everyone's journey, everyone has difficulties. And I hope this book helps anybody who's challenged emotionally and just, if you have an eating disorder, hopefully this will help. If you aren't sure of your sexuality, if you don't, as far as your gender identification or anything, I hope this will help people along the way in their journey.
So which part of your journey in having your memory refreshed based on the research and you going back were you even surprised by, just having that memory jogged, Billie Jean?
Well, the one thing that came to mind is how busy I was as far as trying to play tennis and lead at the same time, own tournaments, being a business person. Quite frankly, I don't know how I did it. Looking back, God did give me extra energy, and I think that's the reason I was able to do it. And also, I really wanted things to change. I had such a will to want things to change, and I got very lucky because there was a few players around me, or I'm around them, to want to change things. The original 9 in 1970 is a huge story. It's in here. There was 9 of us willing to give up our careers for the future generations. And there were 3 things that we really cared about, and that was that any girl born in the world, if she was good enough, would have a place to compete. Number 2, that she'd be appreciated for accomplishments, not only her looks, like everything. And when I played against Bobby Riggs, for instance, when I was coming out, when they were in the Egyptian litter, they were bringing me out, 90 million people were watching. Howard Cosell only talked about my looks. He never talked once about my accomplishments. So that was the number 2. And then number 3 was to be able to make a living playing tennis, because as amateurs before 1968, we made $14 a day. We never wanted that to happen again for women. And we'd been getting shut out a lot by the guys. I wanted us to be together. They did not want us, so that was a tough time. It was really a tough time. And then because of that moment where the original 9 signed a $1 contract with Gladys Hellman, and she went out and got sponsorship, we got people to run tournaments for us. But every time a young person or a player today gets a check, a woman player, you can go right back to that moment when we did that, because that's the reason they're making so much money. So it's still relevant today, because history is relevant today and many times. And I think it's really important for young people to know a lot about history, because it does help them to shape the future. I know it helped me when I was young and trying to help shape the future.
What's next? What do you think should be next for what you started when you from the point of view? Obviously, you've got your Billie Jean King initiative, but in terms of the cause for the female athlete, what do you think is next here in 2021?
Well, Ilana and my partner are very involved. We really want to. We want soccer to get more. We want women's hockey, ice hockey, to have a league eventually with the top players. They do have a league that's very good, but we need the top players. That they're the ones that drive everything. We are so young. Women's sports is so late in the marketplace. We're in our infancy, so we have a long way to go. We also do an initiative. We're very big, on DE&I and diversity, equity, and inclusion. We help companies do that. We try to make money and give it back pretty quickly sometimes, like with the frontline workers, particularly women of color. I'm involved in investing in the First Women's Bank in Chicago, Fidelity and Bank of America involved in that too. So we're just going to start that. I'm very big on girls following the money, just like boys are taught. Make a lot of money and then give it out to people who need it or underserved, and create opportunities and training. But as far as women's tennis and men's tennis, I would like to see us together more. I know the WTA and the ATP are working together, and then you have a third group who started with Djokovic. We've got to figure out how to get together. Tennis has immense opportunities. We don't have enough social media content, so we need to really punch that up. We can make a lot more money, have better revenue streams. So tennis, as far as women's tennis, we are definitely the leader in women's sports without any question. But I just want all women's sports to do well, because women's sports, 94% of them in C-suites and businesses identify as being athletes. It helps us to negotiate. It helps us to be resilient. All the things it teaches boys, it teaches girls. So I really want girls and boys to be in sports. You don't have to be the best, but you learn about business. You learn how to navigate the world that we live in when you learn all these things through sports. And also relationships. You build up relationships, and relationships are everything.
Before I let you go, Billie Jean King, I got to just revisit one thing you said in the conversation about Howard Cosell during your match with Bobby Riggs, was commenting only on your looks. Did you ever have an opportunity to address that subject with Howard afterwards?
No, I did. Well, I never saw it. I didn't see I didn't actually see the match. No, I didn't watch the match until 25 or 30 years later when I had to.
Kidding.
Actually, I had to watch the match for the book and comment on the match, and I could not believe it when I started to watch. I thought, okay, great. Howard Cosell, the best announcer. He was like number one and big influencer, and he was tight with Ali. They helped each other become famous more than ever. And I used to be very envious of them in a way that I didn't have a broadcaster that was helping my profile, increase. I thought, God, we're just always on the outside looking in. But no, I didn't. When I saw it, I could not believe it, that Howard went on and on about my look. Oh, you take your glasses off, do this. She could be in Hollywood. And I'm like waiting for and she won this or that, or she was in the Hall of Fame. And then when Bobby came out right after me, and all they talked about was his accomplishments. And it was I just could not believe that's what was said in 1973 with the match. And of course, it was just after Title IX was passed in 72. So I was like, that just shows you how the times were. It's indicative of the culture at the time.
Wow. And that was one of your observations, having never seen it, watched it back just for your
I couldn't believe it. I was in shock. I didn't think he would do that. I thought he'd at least say, well, she won a Wimbledon or two, or she won the U.S. Open, or something. And I like Howard. I got along well with him.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.